My name is Stephanie Bach, and I'm the lead plant scientist for Nutraponics Canada Corporation. So we're located outside of Sherwood Park, kind of in the Ardrossan area on Range Road 212. So as the lead plant scientist, I run the entire facility, so I manage our R&D program, where we test a lot of different varieties of plants. And I also manage our daily operations, including production, where we service the organic box. So if you subscribe to them, you'll be receiving our produce in their delivery boxes. So I just want to start with a short video of our company.
Though the science of farming has never been more advanced than it is today, countless remain malnourished and hungry. Soil depletion, water pollution, carbon emissions, all continue to rise at an ever more rapid pace. If the technology exists to feed the world, who's willing to take action? Nutraponics is taking leaps towards a better future. By harnessing the power of nature, we're bringing the most productive, low-impact, safe and secure farming to those who need it most, providing true food security to every person in every climate, simply by growing chemical-free, nutrient-dense, fresh, local food. Feeding, employing and empowering the most struggling regions in our world. Seeding innovation for decades to come. Nutraponics, feeding the world, protecting our future.
So at the heart of it all, Nutraponics is an ag tech corporation. What we do is we sell what we call IVAF systems. So that stands for Indoor Vertical Aquaponic Farm Facilities. So right now we have our demonstration facility in Sherwood Park, and we supply the Edmonton region with produce through the organic box. And what we really focus on are the three S's, so food security, sustainability, and sovereignty. What we're looking at is introducing urban agriculture by building systems in abandoned facilities, in downtown cities or anywhere where you have abandoned buildings. And what we're doing is by using aquaponics and aquaculture practices, we are able to reduce the amount of waste by reusing fish waste to feed plants and grow plants. Like I said, we use aquaponics in our system, and that is the combination of aquaculture and hydroponics. So from this, we're able to reduce our input and operating costs, and we have an innovative way of using our waste to promote faster growth of plants and of fish. So if anyone is interested in innovative waste processing, there is a session tomorrow morning, and actually Joey Hundert from Sustainatech Sustainable will be talking about this topic as well. So aquaponics is unique in the sense that we don't need any fertilizers, herbicides, or pesticides added to our system. We have a completely enclosed loop where our water is completely reused, and we only have one added input in our entire system. It is. What we do is we add fish food, and that's the only thing that we add to our system. So we start with our fish tanks where we grow tilapia, and we feed them a balanced fish meal. The byproducts from our fish are processed in our biofilters with nitrifying bacteria that convert ammonia to nitrites and nitrites to nitrates, and the water is fed onto our vertical growing stacks, which feed the plants. The plants clean out the water by absorbing all of the nutrients, and that clean water is recirculated back into our fish tanks. So our system has three key components here. We have the aquaponics, we use LED lighting, and we use vertical stacking in order to create our specific growing system. So this is a picture of what our Ardrossan facility looks like. So I've already talked about aquaponics. Here we have a depiction of our LED lighting and of our vertical stacking. So we have 4 stacks in our facility, and we stack 10 high, and we use red and blue LED lighting. So our LED lights are custom designed by a company here in town, and we are looking at actually designing our next generation of LED lights now that are completely customizable at the push of a button to any light spectrum that we would like. So some plants, say if you wanted to grow a red kale, actually does not grow well under red and blue light. If you feed a red plant red light, it's not working out. So those plants don't grow well on our system right now that we have the red and blue lights. So we're looking at creating a customizable system where we can provide any spectrum of light to our plants depending on whatever is grown on it. We have 1,000 square meters in our facility, and they are separated into 8 by 8 foot bed sections. So we have the total of the 4 stacks. So why we choose vertical farming? Obviously, we are in the market of urban agriculture, and when we're looking at downtown cityscapes, there's not often a lot of space. If you want to move into a warehouse and be providing food security for certain cities, you're looking at growing upwards, not outwards. So what we have specifically in our Dawson is 1,000 square meters of growing space on 223 square meters of land. So we have roughly 5 times the amount in the same amount of space, and that accounts for things like walkways, and we have our fish tank area, and we have a processing area as well. But when we look at our facility at our Dawson, we currently grow what we have is lettuce right now, and we grow it at a 20% higher density than in field crops, and they grow 25% faster than in the field, and we also stack 10 high. So there are studies out there, and you can find a multitude of papers that will say that vertical farming is much more efficient, and they try to put a number on it. Some papers say they're 20 times as efficient as field agriculture. Some say as high as 100 times, and that will depend on the crop that you grow and how densely you grow it. So right now we have our facility in our Dawson, but we are looking at fighting food insecurity not only across Canada, but across the globe. So right now we have a facility that is being built in New Brunswick. We also have facilities going up in Yukon and in the Cayman Islands, and a multitude of other places as well that we are looking at working on dealings with right now. So the one in New Brunswick is 20,000 square meters, so it's 20 times the size of what we have in our Dawson. And each of these buildings that are coming up are between the size of 6,000 to 20,000 square meters. And there are economies of scale that come into that. Labor is one of our biggest costs. And so the larger you go, the more efficient you become and the more productive you can become. So as an example, in the Cayman Islands, we are building 10,000 square meters, and it's going to be on a 50,000 square foot footprint that produces 500 tons of produce per year, really helping to support the Cayman Island industry, because right now all of their food that they produce is shipped in by boat or by plane. And we went down there a few months ago, and we talked with the Land Trust and a whole bunch of other people, the Ministry of Agriculture, and some of that produce that they get in, specifically lettuce, kales, any sort of leafy greens, when they come in, they're already 2 weeks old. So that's a problem. You think that the Cayman Islands is a rich island and that they can afford that everything that they have can be supplied, but they can't because they are a volcanic island, which means that they have no arable agriculture. So introducing an urban farm like this, an indoor farm, is really beneficial to them. What we have in our facility is the ability to grow plants like this into produce like this. So Susan said that we're each going to pose a question, so I guess the question would be where you all think agriculture is headed, because ag technology is obviously a hot topic now. People love to talk about hydroponics, aquaculture, and the combination being aquaponics. So maybe just some food for thought, what everyone thinks about companies like this. There's lots in the States, and there's a multitude in Canada as well. We operate the largest indoor vertical aquaponic farm in Canada, and we're looking at, with our New Brunswick facility, building the largest one in the world. But obviously, there's talk about this. People say there's advantages and disadvantages. Some people are very against it, some people are not. So I just like to hear what everyone's thoughts are. So.